Welcome to this episode of the GymInformer podcast. I'm Chris Gilbert, your host for this episode. And today we have Andrew Murray, the owner of Colossus Gym. It's a cool powerlifting gym in the Columbus, Ohio area. I got a chance to work out there this year at the Arnold weekend. It was a cool experience. I'm excited to talk to Andy about it. But before we get started, let me take a pause and I'll show you the photos I took of the gym when I was there. All right, first off, before we get into talking about the gym, and I'm excited to talk about the gym, how did you become a gym owner? Like, what was your path? A lot of people have different paths. So what was your path to becoming a gym owner?
Yeah, so my path was a little unique, I guess. I originally went to college for civil engineering, and I had been
Oh, wow.
working with a construction company for about 7 years. But over that time, kind of didn't really like the field that I ended up in. I wasn't super satisfied with it, and just always been kind of in the gym and love working out and stuff like that. I think I really dove into it in college and had a lot of enjoyment there. And then was certified to be a personal trainer, but kind of things shifted, and then the opportunity came up to open up the gym with a really ideal location popping up, and just kind of took that opportunity to go after it and kind of make that pivot.
Oh, that's cool. And the gym's been open for how long now?
About 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in the summer.
Okay, yeah. So you guys have definitely gotten over that first hump of getting through those first couple of years and building your membership base and stuff like that. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Now, when I start talking about the equipment, obviously it's not a huge powerlifting gym. I think we said it was about 5,500 square feet. But I was really impressed with the level of equipment that's in the gym. I mean, obviously Rogue is in Columbus, so I'm sure that makes it pretty accessible. But the fact that almost everything in the gym was from Rogue, I thought that was pretty cool. Outside of the fact that Rogue is right there next door to you, was there other reasons you decided that Rogue was the fit for your gym?
I mean, it being nearby was a really big piece of the puzzle in terms of outfitting the gym. I think one thing that really helped and kind of sold us on it was when I was kind of going on the design process for building the gym. They have a showroom at their location, so being able to go in there and kind of see everything laid out, see a vision for it, and then also it just seemed like the brand at the time was a kind of universal brand that wasn't necessarily too focused on one side of it, whether that's powerlifting, CrossFit, strongman. They wanted to try and do a little bit of everything, and that kind of lined up with my vision as well.
No, super cool. I thought the atmosphere in the gym was quite unique. I've been to a bunch of powerlifting gyms that really have embraced that old school, hardcore environment. And you guys were a lot more new school. Everything was super clean. All your equipment matched. The walls were blacked out. The floors were black. The ceilings were black. It was a very clean line, very new school approach, which was very inviting and welcoming and really cool. And I've been to a bunch of bodybuilding gyms who've taken that approach, but it's one of the first powerlifting gyms that I've been to that took that approach. What was your thought process and wanting to go that avenue rather than like the old school hardcore type of gym?
Yeah, I think for me, like I kind of just fits my personality almost. For me, my like background in lifting isn't super like focused on powerlifting.
Hmm.
Kind of I like lifting with just more free weights, but not necessarily locked into like a powerlifting style. And so that kind of was how I decided like what type of gym I wanted to open. And it's we've also kind of pivoted around um, what our members want to do as well. Being more like semi-private, we've been able to kind of shift like what new equipment we bring in. So powerlifting is kind of something that we've gotten a little bit more focused in as we first opened and added more equipment. But we really liked how we saw a lot of gyms, not necessarily in Columbus, that were making their space really like aesthetically pleasing. And
Hmm.
it just had such a really cool draw to be kind of at a gym that gave off that kind of like um, feeling and made people's like pictures and videos really pop. So we
Hmm.
wanted to bring something like that to the area. Didn't really see something like that before, and just kind of like we're trying to mesh where kind of like you said, like that old school meets like new school. So people
Hmm.
definitely come in, kind of get after their workouts, but also just it has that really cool like modern almost feel to it.
Yeah, no, it was super cool. I liked it a lot. It's super clean. You guys do a good job of keeping that place spotless.
Thank you.
Um, the other thing I thought was cool about the gym was I've been to quite a few like powerlifting focused gyms that have kind of morphed into powerlifting hybrid bodybuilding. Yours is one of the only ones I've been to that seems like it's kind of morphing into a powerlifting slash functional fitness hybrid. Is that something you guys were doing on purpose? Is that something that your membership wanted? Like, what was the thought process there?
Yeah, I think it's been kind of both. When I first got equipment and we were in the design phase, biggest thing was we were looking at kind of a more functional fitness gym. Most of the gyms around us were either like larger, like corporate chain gyms or CrossFit boxes, and then there
Hmm.
was some more exclusive like powerlifting gyms. So we were definitely kind of in a middle ground. When we initially opened too, right after COVID, a lot of places around us had ended up shutting down. So in our first kind of wave of membership, um, we almost had more of a CrossFit clientele or people that formerly did CrossFit. So we had a lot of time to try and focus on having more open space, giving them room to do like their workouts with the barbells. And then as things have shifted over the years and some of the trainers that have been in our space, we've gotten a lot more of a powerlifting focus. So we brought in more powerlifting equipment and more specialty barbells, things like that. So our biggest thing is we just really like being adaptable as a gym and also trying to build up like a community for everyone. So whether you're doing like a maybe more of a CrossFit style workout, or if you're doing powerlifting, you definitely have a place to do that.
No, and it's cool, and you guys definitely like had some unique pieces. Like I thought that the monolith you guys had, the rogue monolith, that's the only rogue monolith I've ever seen. I know you and I had already talked about it, but did you want to kind of tell a story behind that?
Yeah. So I've been told that it's the first one that they ever sold. They debuted it a couple years back at the Arnold Classic, I think, for their strongman competition. So it's definitely a really sizable monolith.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, the uprights and everything are giant. So right after that, one of our trainers that runs a powerlifting group was really interested in getting a monolift for his group and wanted to get it set up in the gym. We were able to get one from Rogue. Took a little while. They were still kind of manufacturing them and working out the kinks for manufacturing. But it was a really cool piece to get in the gym, and we're fortunate enough that since they are nearby, they dropped it off and then sent some guys from their team over to help us set it up and make sure everything was working all right. So got that set up, and now it's a pretty big staple in our gym.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I thought it was super cool. So we talked a lot about like you guys have been up for 5 years. You're doing a really good job. You've got a cool, unique gym. So we talked a lot about things you're doing really well. Is there something that as a gym owner or as a gym you wish you were doing better?
I think the biggest thing, and I'm sure a lot of other gym owners probably share the same struggle, is just the flow of membership, especially in our format. So, have a small membership cap, working with like 85 general memberships, and then we have trainer slots, and people that work with the trainers can come in as well. But our whole goal is to be a little bit more exclusive, not overcrowded. We want to like have an emphasis on the community side of the gym. Because of that, it does make it hard sometimes when people drop off to get people back in, and just staying on top of the marketing. It seems like it comes in waves, and you can just always do better with that. And then I would say the only other like struggle with gyms that would be something I would want to work on is just continuing to like find ways to add value. It's always a struggle to always bring more value to your members, but also bring quality value and not just adding things for the sake of adding things to your gym.
Right.
I think a lot of people probably fall into the trap of just trying to add more without really knowing what's going to like stick. So just a constant, I think, battle in terms of trying to stay on top of all that type of thing.
Yeah. Now you said cap at 85, so you guys only accept 85 members.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so this is an exclusive place to work out.
Yeah. I mean, I would say so.
Yeah, it definitely at 85, it's definitely pretty exclusive. And 5,000 square feet is a pretty decent size to have an 85 person cap. So that's pretty cool. If you're looking for an exclusive place, like get on Andy's waiting list.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have a few spots that have opened up. So if anybody's interested, we always let people try out the gym for a little while, and then can always discuss membership from there.
Yeah, very cool. So what's the future of Colossus hold? Are you guys happy with where you are? You've been in this space for a few years now. Are you ever thinking about maybe like having a bigger gym, or will there ever be a second Colossus gym, or is this you're happy with what it is?
I mean, I think ultimately you want to be happy with what you've accomplished, and that's always good. I don't want to take for granted the things that I've been able to do with the gym, but
100%.
Definitely want to try to continue to improve. I've been pretty fortunate that ever since we've opened, we were able to expand a little bit into some extra space that was in the building, and add like that back room that we have. And then most recently, we were able to add a sauna and cold plunge. We added that last year. So definitely going to try to do more things in the future. Don't have anything 100% pinned down yet. I'm not sure about moving to a completely different location. I don't think we would ever completely move out of the space that we're in now. However, you never know. And if an opportunity were to arise to expand, I don't know that I would be wanting to go outside of like the Columbus area, but I definitely love it here, and want to definitely see where we can continue to grow things.
Yeah. So you're, what I'm taking from that is that you're pretty happy with where you are. And if you could get a little bit bigger, that'd be great, but you're pretty happy with where you are.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, that nobody should ever like, if you've got a gym that's been successful for the last 5 years, you know, that's an accomplishment and nobody wants to take any part of that away from you. So that's super awesome. One of the things that I always like to ask gym owners while they're on the podcast is you've been one of the few, like not few, but like one of the people who's done it right and been able to build your membership and do what you needed to do for 5 years now. Is there any advice that you would give to someone who's thinking about opening a gym or wants to open a gym?
Um, I mean, I think the biggest advice that I would give is um, one, understand like what areas of the business that you don't know. Um, there's no shame in trying to reach out for help, whether that's a business coach or getting somebody to do your website, any sort of marketing. I think most of the people that open up gyms, they open them because they know how to work out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they know powerlifting, weightlifting, bodybuilding, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like a social media like expert. And
Or even a business guru. So
yeah. So getting off on the right foot is huge. I was able to have a lot of people around me that helped me out with that, and I feel like it really just put a great foundation in place. And I would say just putting yourself in the position to succeed before you even open the doors is the best advice I could give you.
no, that's super smart. I didn't have any other questions. Was there anything else you wanted to tell everyone about Colossus?
Um, I think for the most part, we covered a lot of like the general aspects of the gym. We do have a few spots open, like I said, and I would say the biggest thing outside of those membership spots, if anybody is not in the Columbus area but is interested in coming and check us out, um, if you're ever in the area, definitely feel free to call us or shoot us a message on Instagram. And then also keep an eye out. We have started the last couple of years doing a like mock powerlifting meet. So we run like a powerlifting meet that's a lot more relaxed than like an actual sanctioned meet, but it allows people to both test their maxes and kind of get a feel for what a powerlifting meet might be like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good time. The people that I have set up running it, and one of our trainers that runs it, Ted Cox from Agogi Performance, they do a great job with it, and everything that we get from that we donate to a local charity that helps with some of the school and kids that are trying to do sports that might not have the means to do so without some assistance.
Oh, that's super cool. So you run a meet and everything, all the profits from the meet go to charity.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, that's super cool. Do you usually just run like one meet a year, or do you run more than one meet a year?
So I think last year we did do it in the spring and the fall, but we are going to probably do it mostly just in the fall around November. We usually finalize a date when it gets a little bit closer.
Right in that good bulking season. So
Yeah.
no, that's great. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast and giving us kind of the story of Colossus, letting us all know like the background and how it came about. And if you're in the Columbus area and you're into powerlifting, or you just want a cool place that's a little bit unique to go lift, go check out Colossus. It was a good lift. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having me on.
oh yeah, definitely, no problem.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.